What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all been well. Today we got another episode. We're gonna be doing an install, modification, whatever you want to call it. I actually received something in the mail, and what this is an anytime locker, and this is from Black Ops Offroad. And for anyone that doesn't know, or you're probably familiar, the 3rd gen Tacomas, you can only activate your factory e-locker if you're in 4-wheel drive low. So if you're in 4 high or 2-wheel drive, you can't actually turn your rear locker on. So what this does is it bypasses the factory system, and you can engage it like it says, anytime. So that means like when you're in 4 high or 2-wheel drive, you can activate your rear locker, so the rear diff will be locked, and you don't have to worry about putting it in 4 low and the normal steps that you'd have to do typically. I'm gonna get this install going. I'll do a little unboxing for you guys just to show what comes with the whole kit. It pretty much comes with everything. So it comes with like a panel popper, it comes with all the instructions and everything. So I'll show you guys that right now. All right, so with this anytime locker, comes nicely packaged. Comes with a QR code with the user guide, how to install. Comes with the panel popper, like I was saying. Helpful to get your glove box off and all the trim pieces. This is the anytime locker, which is pretty much a wiring harness that bypasses the factory e-locker stuff. And then we have an OEM switch. This is anytime locker, so you can kind of place that in an empty slot, or if you want to pull something out, you can put that in, and then a few zip ties just to make everything nice. All right, so first step of the install, I'm pretty much gonna disconnect the battery, and then on the passenger side, I'm gonna start pulling out some of the trim pieces. So like this area, I'm gonna end up taking off the glove box. Pretty much very similar to how I did the 2-wheel drive mod, so I'm not gonna go super in depth into how to do that. And I'm gonna get started on that, start pulling everything apart, and then I'll show you guys once I get to the wiring area. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is actually my 2-low mod that connects to the same, I guess, wiring or the same plugs as the anytime locker does. So this is gonna be kind of like an experiment to see if I can add the anytime locker into this as well as the 2-low. So I'm gonna have them running or kind of plugged in all together and see if that works. So pretty much this would typically, if it's factory, it would be plugged in back here. You'd take that out, and then there's another plug right here, and the 2-low is in that right now. So I'm gonna try and just add another one with the anytime locker and see if that'll work with the 2-low. So I'm gonna get this plugged in, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. So if you guys can see this, I know it's kind of a lot of wires, but I pretty much got everything plugged in, and I kind of tucked it back here, and then they had some relays that I tucked on this side, and then I have the wire that I'm gonna run for the switch. Then I think I'm gonna run through the A-pillar and put it where the factory switch is. That way, I don't have any extra buttons that aren't really working and stuff like that. So just to kind of keep everything clean, I think I'm gonna do that. So I got everything pretty much nice and zip tied, everything's tucked away, so I can put that glove box back in. Next thing I'm gonna do is run the wire for the switch, just the connector, and then I'm gonna be using that provided switch that comes with the kit. So I have the wire running kind of through underneath where the mirror would be, came up the A-pillar. So I got it in here with the new provided switch. I pretty much just push this one out. This is the factory e-locker one. In the instructions, it does say that you need to leave this plugged in, but leave it in the off position. So you can kind of just leave it dangling there, and then when you put everything back up, just make sure it's not pinched. And then before you put everything back together, just make sure it's in the off position. So if you push it and it's kind of locked, so just make sure that's in the off position before you put everything back. For the next step, we're gonna turn the key to ignition on, and then double check that there's illumination. Hold on, it's hard to push. Okay, that's working. Make sure this is off. So everything looks like it's working. I'm gonna put this back together and then we'll get this thing rolling. All right, so I got pretty much everything buttoned up, all the plastic, the trim, the glove boxes back in. You can see the new button up here. It's the anytime locker. I confirmed that it illuminates with just the ignition on. So the next step is to test this thing out, make sure that the rear locker is locking in for 4-high as well as 2-wheel drive, just to make sure everything's working properly. And then I guess we'll find out if I can still use the 2-low mod or not. And kind of interested to see how that's going to play out. So stay tuned. The next part of this is just going to be us making sure everything works, and I'll do a little demo for you guys. All right, so I'm going to try and demonstrate how this anytime locker works. So right now I'm in neutral, 2-wheel drive, normal driving. If I just push the anytime locker, it's going to blink. All right, so sometimes the diff just needs to rotate a certain amount for it to engage. So now that it's engaged, the locker should be on. So the easiest way to see if the locker is working or not is you find yourself a spot that has a little less traction, like a dirt or gravel area, and then once it's locked, you try and do like a turn. You'll start to hear one tire is kind of binding. So from that demonstration, you can kind of see that the inside tire, it was starting to slip, just because it was moving at the same speed as the outside tire. So that kind of just confirms that both sides are spinning equally, which means the locker is working. And same thing to disengage the locker. All you're gonna do is you're gonna push this button, it's gonna turn off, and then it'll disengage once you get those certain amount of rotations. So just to confirm, now you can see the inside tire is not binding. That means the locker's off. So just like that, super easy to use. It's in 2-wheel drive right now, so it's not in 4-low, it's not in anything crazy. The next thing I want to try and test is to see if this works with my 2-low mod. So I'm gonna try this and see how that works. For my 2-low mod, pretty much turn my 2-low on, and then I put it in 4-low. Technically it's in, you know, 2-wheel drive low because it doesn't engage the front diff. And then same thing, I'm gonna do the anytime locker and let it engage. Sometimes you just gotta kind of play with it for it to lock. All right, so see it stop blinking, that means it's locked. Same thing, I'm gonna do the turn, and then you'll see this side tire now. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's how it works, and kind of a quick demonstration how you can check to make sure it's working. This is a super good mod if you're not always going to be in 4-low, but maybe you're in 4-high or even 2-wheel drive, but you just need a little more traction, or one tire just needs to spin with the other tire. This is going to be the mod for you. It's super easy to install. I mean, it took me maybe 30 minutes. And that was just because I wanted to make everything nice, zip tie all the wires up nice and high, and get everything pretty. But honestly, it's a super good modification that you can do for these 3rd gens, because why not have a locker whenever you need it, you know? Because sometimes you don't know when you're gonna need it. But with that being said, again, this is anytime locker from Black Ops Offroad, and they've been kind enough to give me a discount code to give to you guys, so save you guys some money, and at the same time it always helps out the channel. So if this is a mod that you're thinking of possibly getting in the future, check out Black Ops Offroad. I'll leave a link to their website down below, and then use the code Luau Taco at checkout to save yourself some money. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things. Till next time, shoots.